Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And you're
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid.
Hot tag.
Hot tag.
Hot tag. Okay, I got you. I'm coming in hot. You know, I'm gonna hit that Big E spear.
We'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
What is going on, guys? It is time for the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that has Ryan in the background with the belt on, thinking he's the champ. And we're on our road trip, our WrestleMania road trip to WrestleMania 32. This is our WrestleMania 13 review. You guys' favorite host was supposed to host this, Justin, and well, he decided that he didn't care about the podcast, I guess. Anyway, let's jump right into the show. We got Billy Gunn versus Flash Funk. This was an interesting match to me. I forgot to open up my notes, so I'm gonna give this to Casey because I forgot to open up my notes before I started. Casey, talk about this match.
Wait, what? Are we on the same show? What are you talking about?
Actually, I think this match was like a dark match or something.
Yeah, because
I forgot to open up my notes and I opened up freaking Wikipedia. So let's go to the Headbangers against the New Blackjacks, against the Godwins, against Fumas and Furnace and LaFon. Fumas. Close. Casey, I'm gonna give you this match first. As I open
the Curtis Axel thing.
Don't do it.
Curtis Axel sucks. But he wasn't in this match. Luckily, he was not in this match. But this was a tag team elimination match, which I get that away. Get that off the screen. Get it off. Get it. All right. I always like tag team elimination matches when they did them right, and this one they didn't do right. I always thought that both members should have a chance to fight in the match. Both have to be eliminated, but in this match, only one member had to be eliminated, and the entire team was eliminated, which I think kind of takes away from the match. You could have a 4-on-2. You could have a 4-on-1. I mean, if you do it that way, you can kind of have a bunch of different combinations and have a more interesting match, I think, rather than one member being eliminated and then they're out. There's no fun in that to me. And these rules were ridiculous too, because guys from the same team would have to wrestle each other if they were tagged in. Like the Headbangers had to face each other at one point, and I was like, what? But I mean, all in all, it was a good match. I just think the rules were weird. And I mean, you had weird rules like this, throughout, early 90s and then into the Attitude Era in certain matches. But I just didn't like this. It kind of took away from this match for me. But I mean, I like all the teams, so it was a good match. And Justin didn't show up because the Godwins are in it, and he hates the Godwins. I don't know what it is. He hates the Godwins.
I definitely like these matches. I don't know if I like four tag team, like, what do you call it? Four team tag team match. A lot of team in that, but I don't know if I like these matches more elimination or more not, because I think when it's not, there's a lot more excitement, because you never know when the fall is going to come. Whereas if it's elimination, you can kind of like weave out some of the teams you think aren't going to win, especially now in today's era more so than anything. But I definitely enjoyed this match. I thought it was a good match. It was cool to see guys like Bradshaw and his like older gimmick. I thought that was pretty fun to watch. But yeah, the Headbangers ended up winning this match, and I thought it was a pretty good match, and it was to determine the number one contender, which I kind of wish they would do a little bit more often. Do matches on pay-per-views that determine number one contenders too, because those actually matter. But whatever, because it wouldn't be as hard to come up with a tag team title match for WrestleMania 32 if you had number one contenders already, or something. You know what I mean? But as we continue, we had Rocky Maivia versus the Sultan in some kind of weird mask he had on. The Sultan pretty much throughout this match overpowered Rocky, and I really liked his super kick though. I thought that when he caught him with that super kick, I was like, oh, super kick was my true reaction. But I enjoyed this match. I thought it was cool to see Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik out there. I mean, if you got two managers, we can't even get one today, but this man had two managers. But this match was pretty good. It wasn't too long of a match, but it wasn't too short either. It gave us some good time, and I think this was actually around about. This was like right before The Rock joined the Nation, I think. If I'm not mistaken, because I could tell by the music. I don't necessarily know the background that much, but I can tell by the music that because he had kind of that The Rock music when he came out, which I thought was kind of funny. Any thoughts on this match, The Rock versus the Sultan?
This was a good match. It was Rocky Maivia's first WrestleMania match, which was kind of cool. It's always cool seeing guys that are huge stars today going back and watching their first WrestleMania matches. But it was a great first match for him for WrestleMania. I loved seeing Rocky Johnson come out to help him after the match. That was kind of cool. And actually getting to see Rocky Johnson kind of wrestle a little bit was kind of cool. You always see these, second generation stars, fathers come out, but they don't usually, really do anything. But I like that Rocky Johnson actually, did some wrestling moves. So you kind of, got to see a little bit of that, which was kind of cool. But it was just in general a pretty good match. Like you said, it was kind of short, but it got to the point of what it was trying to do, trying to start getting The Rock over, which I think his whole run in the Nation was basically designed to do, was to slowly get him over with the fans or get him over as a heel.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely I enjoy this match. It was cool seeing The Rock, before The Rock, kind of the same thing, same situation with Bradshaw too. Next we would have Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Goldust. Triple H got that Andre the Giant syndrome in this match, and he ended up getting caught in the ropes. I was like, oh, poor Triple H. I think at this point, I think Jerry Lawler was making fun of his nose. He was like, I think it was his nose that got caught or something like that, because Jerry Lawler always made fun of Triple H's nose. That when Goldust got dumped on the stairs, I was like, ooh, that was so painful. And then Helmsley was being very aggressive though when he got the guy with the stomps in the corner. He was kind of relentless in his attack on Goldust. Goldust kind of went more to a more vicious side just based off of what Hunter Hearst Helmsley was bringing to him. I thought that was cool to see his kind of moveset adjust a little bit just based off of his opponent. And then the pedigree to Goldust for the win. Any thoughts on Goldust and Hunter Hearst Helmsley? It was also one more thing. It was cool to see like there were managers or kind of valets in this match. It was kind of cool to see them get involved too, because you don't always see the valets get involved.
Yeah, I feel like anymore these days you kind of don't really see that sort of adjustment of moveset or adjustment to a match anymore with guys. It's always, they stick to their moveset. It doesn't change. Like guys don't change their moveset to, face Brock Lesnar. They don't do anything like that. It's the same all the time. And I like that, Goldust kind of adjusted what he was doing kind of depending on what Triple H was doing, which I think they need to bring that back. It brings more of a dynamic to the match. But I just love, the kind of chemistry between Goldust and Hunter. I think they always worked really well together. When they had feuds, there was just something there that, made you want to watch the match. And this was one of those matches that I just really enjoyed watching.
Alrighty, so next we had Vaderkind versus Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith. I made up my own name because why not? It was Vader and Mankind. And I was like, so Vaderkind? Maybe, kind of. I don't know. No, okay, whatever. I won't make any more names up then. Anyway, I love that the Hart family was sitting in the front row. And the commentators obviously mentioned that. I thought that was cool. I like. Obviously, I think they were in Canada in this show. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that was kind of a cool little thing. They were kind of playing off of the Hart family being right there, but they really didn't react to anything. I think it was funny because Jay was making fun of Stu for being so old and making fun of Helen for being so old because they weren't really reacting to anything. But I kind of wish they would do that now. Like they don't really do that as much anymore. Like if you see somebody like in the crowd and they're not really reacting like they should, I feel like they should mention it on commentary because that's kind of what they're there for. But Vader and Mankind were kind of an interesting team. Like they both had masks. I think that's what it was. That's what brought them together. It was the mask, the power of the mask. Today we got the power of positivity. Back then, the power of the mask. I get it. But I thought they were an interesting team though. I like Mankind a lot, and also love Vader. I'm really a big fan of Vader. But I didn't realize that Mankind can get the mandible claw out of nowhere. I didn't realize that. Like he got it from the back this time. I was like, what? Like he never do that when I was watching him. I just thought that was kind of cool that he could kind of come in from the side a little bit. But this match ends in a double count out, and Justin would probably cry because it ended in a double count out. But I definitely like this match. I thought it was a good match. It's for the tag team titles, so Owen and Davey keep the belts.
Another reason why Justin didn't show up, because it ended in a double count out, and they're fat. This was an awesome match. Owen and Davey Boy always made a really good heel team. And I loved watching Vader and Mankind team up in this match. I feel like they should have done that a lot more. I don't know. I don't think they had necessarily had great chemistry in the match, but it was just kind of cool seeing Vader and Mankind teaming together. Because they're such big stars for their, I don't want to say for their time and make them feel like super old, but for the time that they were, on top, they were really, kind of similar in ways and different at the same time. But again, I did like that it ended in a double count out, but I don't know if you noticed this, but that ref did a super fast count. Like he was like 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, dude, really? Like, make it believable at least. Like, it was just a way too fast count. It could be adrenaline for WrestleMania. I don't know, but that was just a really fast count. I expected like the Authority coming out and being like, and still your tag team champions because that's best for business. Like it felt like something heelish, but it was just happened to be a fast count.
Alrighty. So next on the card, baby, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. This is one of those really iconic matches, especially with the ending, with Stone Cold like just dripping in blood and ended up passing out, which I utterly hate now when they when they do it, just because they do it too much. I feel like when you use something too much, it's not fun anymore. It's not as significant anymore. It doesn't feel the same way anymore. They just do it all the time with anyone now, and I just think it's stupid. But I I feel like for like a submission match, this match went out to the outside really quickly, which I thought was actually kind of cool because you don't see that a lot anymore. Like the submission match is kind of going all out anymore. You kind of just see them stay in the ring. They work that particular part, but they don't really go out of the realm of possibility, I guess. Um, Ken Shamrock was the special guest referee, and I don't know, how you felt about Shamrock, but I mean, I never saw him as being like just a jack dude, but in that referee shirt, he just looked really big to me. I was like, good, like I was like, did he just get out of the gym or like what's going on? Like I was like, he looked really big in that referee shirt, but there were a lot of good spots throughout this match as far as submission wise, and it was cool to kind of see Austin kind of try some submissions too, because you never really think about it. Kind of with Austin, you don't never really think about submissions, but it kind of adds some versatility to his moveset when you have like a submission only match because he has to use a submission. But any thoughts on this very iconic match?
I mean, to me, this is absolutely no question match of the night. The blood pouring down Austin's face while he was in the sharpshooter is probably if not the most iconic Austin visual that I can think of. That's one thing that I always kind of think of when I think of Austin. You visualize that his face. It was just really iconic. And the pass out, I really liked it because Austin is such a strong competitor that having him actually pass out makes that ending seem so much more epic. And I feel like if they're gonna do pass outs anymore, it needs to be like that. Like it needs to be on a guy like Brock Lesnar, a guy who's so strong that him passing out to a submission would be like you wouldn't believe it. And I think that's why this was so like whoa, like it was so surprising. And I agree with DJ. They kind of do it too much. But then again, kind of similar to things we were talking about on the video last night. WWE just does things over and over way too much these days. Like we were talking about with AJ and Y2J, just the same match over and over again. They do the same finishes over and over again. They do, and it takes away from the excitement of it. But like I said, if they did it a little bit less often and to somebody that would make it seem like a big finish, it would still work. But this was, like I said, probably match of the night for me.
Yeah, I agree. This was definitely a great match. And I would probably agree with that too. Next, we have the Nation of Domination. Nation of Domination. It was Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega versus the Legion of Doom and Ahmed Johnson, Hawk and Animal, and Ahmed Johnson. In a Chicago street fight. This match was just really fun to watch. I didn't really take a ton of notes on it, but because I was actually watching this while we were doing the other review last night. But I definitely enjoyed watching this match. It's kind of it's interesting how different like street fights and hardcore matches are in that period of time. I think it was 97, where like now you can barely even pull out a chair without someone crying about it or something. Like it's just amazing. Like they were using just such a variety of different weapons. But Legion of Doom and Ahmed Johnson would go over here. The Nation of Domination did have the numbers advantage, but it just didn't help them. Any thoughts on the Chicago Street Fight?
I mean, I don't like, and I've never liked when they make matches like this too gimmicky, by like naming it like the Chicago Street Fight. If they just had made this just a street fight, it would have been just as good. You don't necessarily need to, keep reminding us of what city we're in, or where certain people are from, or I don't know, but that didn't take anything away from the match. It's just I don't like when they do that, but this is just a really good street fight. And I think it was booked well. The Legion of Doom against the Nation. You felt like these guys could really, get into a street fight. Like, if you saw these guys fighting outside of a bar, you'd be like, yeah, I could see that happening. If you saw the Dudleys having a street fight with the New Day, you'd be like, no, get the New Day out of
here. You'd be like, that's booty.
That's booty. But yeah, this is just a really good street fight, and I kind of miss good street fights like this. I know we always say, we don't necessarily need, blood and everything, and there wasn't really blood in this match, but it was just a good, street fight with, a lot of weapons and things like that. And
alrighty, so now we got the main event of the evening. I think we might have one more match. No, this is the main event. We got The Undertaker versus Psycho Sid, and immediately I wasn't excited for this match. I don't like Psycho Sid. I don't know what it is about him. I just can't get behind him. I can't gravitate towards him, I guess. I'm just not a big fan. But it was a no DQ match, and this match actually turned out to be actually pretty good, especially once it got going and they're near the end where they're reversing finishers and stuff like that. I thought it was really good. I actually really enjoyed it there at the end. Obviously, Undertaker gets the win because the streak. But this was actually, a lot better than I anticipated, especially for a Psycho Sid match. For some reason, I've never liked Psycho Sid. He reminded me too much of like Lex Luger, who I didn't necessarily like either when I watched him. So, but any thoughts on the main event or the streak?
Did not like this match at all. First of all, I can't really watch Sid matches anymore since the leg break. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen it, don't. I can't. But I just felt like this was kind of a forgettable Taker Mania match. I mean, it was good for a no DQ match, but I think it was kind of just forgettable for the, as big as the streak has become. I think this is one of those matches that, you remember that, he faced Sid, but you don't really necessarily, to me, you don't really remember the match itself. And unfortunately, there are some of those matches. We're going to be reviewing a couple more of them coming up, and there was a couple that we've already reviewed. But just unfortunately, there are some that just kind of feel like they get lost in the shuffle of all the Undertaker WrestleMania matches.
Alrighty, so that was WrestleMania 13. So if you have any hate mail, if you're upset at the video, send it all to Justin. It's all his fault. I blame him. But hopefully we'll have all three of us back for WrestleMania 15. I'm thinking that's gonna be tomorrow. Casey hosted, so is that gonna be tomorrow or?
Yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow. It's gonna be tomorrow.
All right. So I think we should be pretty much back on track now with the reviews. I think we're doing 3 a week for the rest of the weeks. Probably 4 a week this week, and then 3 the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. We're getting into the thick of things. I feel like, especially kind of the stuff that I remember a little bit more, just because I'm slightly young, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, I thought it has been fun watching the first some of the first 13 manias. I obviously wanted to watch some of the early ones because it's been because those are kind of the ones that make you appreciate what what wrestling is today, I guess, or what wrestling kind of not is, or WWE. Anyway, but we're definitely, I think we're all excited for WrestleMania 32, and we're going to continue on the road trip tomorrow. We are up to 150 subscribers, so I'm excited. I appreciate it so much. We appreciate it so much, obviously. But I mean, I didn't want to speak for you just in case you didn't appreciate it. And no,
I mean, a little bit, I mean,
but if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Join the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast fan base. And we will see you guys later. If you haven't already, follow the Twitter, subscribe, give us a like, give us a smile. Just do something, do something to the video that's not negative. That's how it is. We don't like negativity. We don't. But we'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoy.